Greetings, Benjamin J. from Ben's Trains with another in the series. Well, I just wanted to document this. A new engine arrived today from eBay. Another junker, as you see, a Marx 999. Got it for $10, like all the other ones. That's pretty much my cutoff point. I will sometimes splurge and spend 15. But as you can see, it's seen much better days. And this is all from bad storage. I notice there isn't a lot of rust any place on it. Not on the wheels, and a bit on the bell, which is indicative of the fact that it's been stored someplace hot, not someplace dry, cold and wet. And that's what's happened to the paint. It's just cooked off. And yet it was dry enough to prevent rust on any of the parts. There's no rust on it anyway. In any case, this was the motor that was in it. Now, at some point in its past, someone had removed the armature. You just take off the plate and the armature comes out. However, there is a bearing on that armature that only fits into this side plate one way. And they had forced this armature in there. And so it was completely out of line. They forced it in, tried to force it to run, couldn't, and it just literally destroyed the gearing on both wheels and the intermediate gear. Now, all of these gears are pot metal. This one is made of steel. And so when it starts to tear them up, it tears them up. And they were bristling like hair. They were just shredded. So the first thing I did, of course, was pull the armature out, got the bearing lined up, and it actually runs quite well, but all the gearing was shot. So I just pulled the wheels off and saved two of the wheel bearings. The bearings themselves were almost, what would you call it, shaped like the letter 8, hourglass shaped from being so out of round. And so they definitely tried to get this thing to run, but it never did. And in the meantime, they wound up destroying it. The motor itself is in really decent shape. So it needs new wheels. I saved the axles. Anyway, the point of all this is I had a Marx 400 that arrived today. Now, the Marx 999 is a single reduction motor. It has the armature, one gear that drive the two drive wheels. A double reduction motor has the armature and two reduction gears to drive the wheels. So what I did was I pulled the wheels off. I took the push rods off and mounted them on this 400 motor. So this is the same motor that's in the Mark 666, exactly the same motor. I did the bypass on the E unit. I've got it lubed and tuned. Just got the side rods installed. A real good tip for replacing side rods if you need to replace them. They're peened over. They're just, the edges are just rolled over like a mushroom. So an easy way to get these off is you can take a pair of pliers, pinch it, turn it 2 or 3 times, and that really compresses the metal back. Then just take a small file and smooth it off, bang, and that side rod will pop right off. To reinstall it, slide it back over. There's a detent or dimple in the end of this, and this is all made of pot metal. And you can then just take a center punch, lay a center punch on there, give it a couple light raps, and that re-expands the mushroom, and your push rods are locked into position. So this is going to be a first. This is going to be a Marx 999 with a double reduction motor. So it should be able to pull anything a 666 could pull. So this is going to be a really good candidate to actually restore it and repaint it. It's not in terrible condition. It's just that all the paint is gone. And like I said, this was stored very likely in an attic where it was hot rather than cold and damp. As there's no rust. And as you see, there was no rust on it anywhere. However, all the paint was gone, so it sat someplace for years cooking. Like I said, that's usually indicative of a attic. So in any case, we're going to reinstall this new motor. So the engine is complete. It has the front and rear trucks. I just swapped out the front mounting bar onto this double reduction motor and replaced the push rods. So we'll drop this back into position and see if we can get this up and running. Alright, so one screw in that side, one screw in that side. So that's why it's really handy to buy these old junky engines, tear them apart if they don't run, of course, and scavenge them for the parts, because without parts you can't do anything in the way of repairing these things. You can do simple repairs, but as far as if there's a damaged part, you're stuck. You've got to have the part. So in any case, this is going to be the grand experiment. So a Marx 999 with a double reduction motor. And just by looking at it, you'd never know it. But like I said, it should be able to pull anything that a Marx 666 can pull. It's not quite as heavy, but it has plenty of weight, and now it has plenty of power. So while I have it here on the bench, I'll go ahead and give it a good lube and tune, and then we'll go run this new test motor and see how this is going to work. I'm really looking forward to this experiment. Anyway, I just wanted to do a video on this. Always fun to experiment with these old Marx engines. They're really cheap, which gives you a lot of wiggle room to be able to afford these things, to buy them, just to strip the parts off of them. And you'd be surprised, out of one of these engines, you can find that you can usually fix 5 or 6 or more other engines just with the parts you get out of one of these. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video. A Marx 999 with a double reduction motor. Put some new side rods on it, and this is originally a Marx 400 motor. And like I said, the 400 motor has the same motor as the Marx 666, which is hard to account of why they would put a double reduction motor in a plastic engine. No idea. In any case, I just wanted to do a quick video on this. So the next video will be up and running. I'll probably put this on the Lionel track and see if it can pull 15 or 16 cars. We'll see. In any case, I want to do a video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.